In 3, 2, 1. Well, good morning, warriors. Don't you dare do it. Don't you dare. I know you want to. I know you really want to.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay. Here we go. Well, good morning, warriors. This is the Worship Warrior Podcast, and we are your hosts. My girl to the right here, formerly known as Anna Laura, now known as Anna Zapata. And I am Michael Zapata. And we're married. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for tuning in to episode 1 last week. We really appreciate that. If you missed it, go ahead and go check it out after this one, where you can see why we broke up.
It was good drama.
And why we eventually decided to get married, and why we ended up going ahead and restarting this podcast.
Yeah, true.
Talk about all of it, and much more. But today we're officially getting into some biblical things. We're officially getting into
tea.
Some tea, yes. Some tea all around. From the Bible all the way to some modern tea. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's all coming up today. So basically what we're going to be doing is today we're going to be answering a seemingly simple question. Mm-hmm. Should all Christians get married? Oh, and we're also on a couch now. I guess I'll just throw that out there.
We wanted it to be free. We wanted it to be flowy. Yeah. We wanted it to be us and you guys.
Us and you guys, this couch and these pillows, and I feel good.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
I feel very comfortable.
It does feel weird.
We're totally not jumping on any trends.
I feel safer, yeah. I feel safer behind a table, but...
Really? Do you really?
I do feel safer behind a table.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I have something between me and the camera, you know?
That's why we have the pillow.
That's true.
And you know, there's you can't really see it, but there's like a little bench here.
The whole thing we got going on here.
To hold the stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, it is.
I appreciate you doing this.
You're welcome, yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna answer yes or no.
Wait, let me yawn.
Go ahead. I gotta take a sip of water.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, should every Christian be married? That's what we're talking about today. That's what we're gonna dive into.
Oh, do you want to do 3, 2, 1 answer?
Okay, yeah. Let's do that. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and then we'll say it.
Yeah.
Should every Christian be married? 3, 2, 1. No. Wow, look at that. That is the end of the episode.
Course.
Thank you very much. We agree. There's nothing.
Of course.
No, I'm just kidding. We are going to go into why. I think this one, we're going to ramp this up and get into more hard questions, but I think this is a good, I don't really know many people who disagree with that.
Yeah.
But then again, I think there is some. So let's just talk about it.
You disagree, that's whack.
We're gonna talk about why we feel this way. And I'm gonna have a verse here because I do want to quote the Bible here.
Lay down.
We're gonna go to Genesis, and it's gonna be on the screen.
I have one verse as well, by the way.
Oh, okay. What do you think? I don't know what it is. So when do you think you should put it? Should you do it now?
I'll do it after your verse.
Okay, we'll do verse and verse.
Okay.
And we'll see which one's more superior.
Which one's better?
Let's see who prepared more.
You did.
Okay, so if you're going to go to Genesis 2:18 with me, it says, "And the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper, comparable to him." Why did I bring that up? Because I ask, it seems like it's easy to say no, but maybe God said yes, you should be married.
He didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Why do you think not? What did you get from that verse?
I didn't like being put on the spot there.
What did you think was going to happen?
I did not like being put on the spot there. Why don't you go ahead and read your notes, sir? Jeez.
No, actually, we'll get into that.
That is a side note. That is so funny. Imagine being at church.
Yeah.
And the pastor reads a verse and someone's like, "Amen," and he's like, "Why'd you say amen?" Huh?
I think you should do that.
Do you agree?
No, for real.
But that's scary.
No, it's scary, but I think you should do that. Like, why did you, what do you think? Like, for example, I read that verse, and I think that initially, I'm going to give my reasoning.
Go ahead.
Initially, I can see, like, oh, okay, God is saying that, man shouldn't be alone. You should be married because it's not good to be alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I believe there's more to this, and I believe there's other passages in the Bible that you look at for context when it comes to marriage and like the stipulations of it, and stuff like that. And so what I put here, and I don't know what your verse pertains to, but what I put is basically like, we're in Genesis 2:18. So the context here is that this is the first thing that God says isn't good. And I was researching this and I found it out, and I thought that was very interesting. Mm-hmm. So, if you go back to that, it basically says, before that, he's making everything, the heavens and stuff, and he's like, that's good. You know what I mean? And
that's good. That's nice.
He made the ocean and the seas, and was
got
like,
the little water right there.
Yeah. He's like, that's lovely.
We're like little pets.
God's playing Sims, like, and he's killing it.
Got their toilet set up.
Dude, yeah. He's got the animals. Mm-hmm. And then the one thing he said was, I don't like that. I don't like that man's alone. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's not good. And so I think that that's where you could possibly make an argument that you should always be married. But there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
So that's what I basically put. He's created man, and said all that. But knowing this, I would say, is it a sin not to get married then? Because sin again is like
doing something.
Is doing something against the will of God. Mm-hmm. And I would say no. I don't know what you think about that.
No, it's totally not.
Yeah, I'd say marriage is a part of serving God, but it's not necessarily a command. And that's one thing I learned reading about this and studying about this. There is no place in the Bible where God commands it, and I think that's interesting. Mm-hmm. The commandments, of course, and what God says, like, that's set in stone. You can't argue that.
Yeah.
But I believe that God gave marriage as a gift.
Yeah.
And then when you do it to serve Him. Now there is an alternative to that, and I'll get into that. But I want to go ahead and get to your. I want to get to your verse.
Mine is just a little verse. 1 Corinthians, 7.
1 Corinthians 7. Okay, go ahead.
Now to the unmarried and the widows, I say, it is good for them to stay unmarried, as I do.
Ah, okay. So who said that? Who's talking? Why'd you pick that verse?
That is a lot of background information, but I will tell you why I picked that verse.
Tell me.
Because
tell me. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I can do it, but you can't.
Because I think some people are just meant to be unmarried. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a bad thing, and I don't think it's God punishing you or anything. I think single people are not incomplete people.
Did you ever think that though? Like, did you ever like worry about, what if I don't marry or anything like that?
Actually, that is something I never worried about.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
I always felt like marriage was in the cards for me.
Sure.
It never felt like it wasn't.
Yeah. You
know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you? I'm sensing something different.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I did. We'll get into that more later, but I will say yes. Mm-hmm. I did have that fear. I had that fear of being alone. Mm-hmm. And I think that, more than anything, I had the fear of being alone. And I think I don't know, I guess I still do, but I'm not actively thinking about it because we are married.
Yeah, we are married.
I am not alone. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. Mm-hmm. So yeah, okay, let's keep going here. I wrote Matthew 19, 1 through 11 down for some reason.
Yeah, why'd you do that?
I don't know why I did that. Oh, I do know why. Okay, yeah, we should go to this. So let's build on this. I'm gonna go to it right now, but I really liked what you said because I kind of land up to what I found out too, which is that God doesn't necessarily punish you. Like, it's not a punishment. That's very interesting. Mm-mm. I feel like it's more accepted now. You know what I mean? As far as like you're gonna see me really struggle.
Not being married.
Yeah, as far as like not being married.
Yeah.
It's more accepted now than I think back then, and that's only what I was not born back then, but that's just what I hear. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more of like a taboo thing.
Yeah.
Like, you had a certain. I don't know if you go far back. Like it's like.
You wasted your life if you're not
you're
married.
a waste. Yes, and that's why we bring it up. It's because it's one of those things that I think like nowadays it's like obvious, but back then it really wasn't.
Yeah,
I think that's interesting.
yeah, I think that's interesting
You
too.
know, it wasn't really that obvious that was not an option. So I got Matthew here. Gonna go to 19.
He's in the room with us. That got you. That got you a lot.
That's really funny.
Marriage.
Oh, comedy.
That was unnecessary.
Oh,
He's been saying that for the past 6 days.
I love that. That was so freaking hilarious. Sorry. That is so funny. I was trying not to say that because I've been saying that for so long.
I bet you've been saying it for 2 weeks.
I did not. I got a shout out to comedians out there. I've been really into them. Mm-hmm. And I heard this comedian Mark Norman. I got to shout him out because I said it. Say that a couple times, and I think it's the funniest thing in the world.
He will not stop saying it.
I've been repeating it around the house, even more because it annoys her. But that was a good opportunity to say it.
That was a good opportunity.
Come on, that was hilarious.
Did you find Matthew?
Oh yeah, we're talking about the Bible. Yeah, so I found Matthew. So we're gonna be in Matthew 19, 1 through 11. And I'm just going to read this to you. Boop, 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 boop. Follow along if you can. If you can't, I get it. It's all good.
If you're driving, stop driving and listen.
If you're driving, pull out the Bible right now. Don't you dare stop. Let God guide you.
That's funny.
Thank you. I won't say. Okay, so 1 through 11. Please don't do that for real. Okay. Do
it.
No.
Do it, Crash.
Now it came to pass, when Jesus had finished these sayings, that he departed from Galilee and came to the region of Judea, beyond the Jordan.
Did you write the wrong?
No, I got it. Okay, I was like, wait, what the heck? And great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. The Pharisees also came to him, testing him, saying to him, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife?" That's why I wrote it. For just any reason. And he answered and said to them, "Have you not read that he who made them at the beginning made them male and female?"
Okay.
And said, "For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So then they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let not man separate." They said to him, "Why then did Moses command to give a certificate of divorce and to put her away?"
Moses divorced somebody?
No, it said, "Why did Moses say to give a certificate of divorce?"
Moses divorced somebody, as in he divorced another couple.
Oh, I see. Maybe. I don't actually know that. He said to them, "Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, permitted you to divorce your wives."
Yeah.
Because of you guys.
Yeah, because you suck.
From the beginning, it was not so. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another commits adultery. And whoever marries her who is divorced commits adultery. His disciples said to him, "If such is the case of the man with his wife, it is better not to marry." But he said to them, "All cannot accept this saying, but only those to whom it has been given. For there are eunuchs who were born thus from their mother's womb, and there are eunuchs who were made eunuchs by men, and there are eunuchs who have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He who is able to accept it, let him accept it." So there you go. I brought that up because there is a lot there.
There is a lot there.
A lot.
Side note, so if you get divorced, you can't get married again?
So that's a good question.
That's adultery.
And we didn't even discuss this. Now, here's the thing about that. I don't know. I mean, if you read...
it's there.
Look, if you read the text, I think so. I would say, before I just say something like that, let me think about this.
No, also, again, we say this every episode, but I guess we're in a new season, so just to clarify again.
Oh, yeah, it might be a new audience, too, so we should
We're not professionals at all. We do not have a degree
What's a professional Christian? Is that just like a pastor?
Pastoring. You know what I mean? We're not we pick a topic, we do our own research, we talk about it. It's mostly opinionated A lot of it is biblically opinionated, but it's still opinionated.
Let me clarify.
Or interpretation.
Let me clarify the clarification.
That would make more sense.
Because I didn't agree with that.
A lot of it is our interpretation of what we read.
I think that's more I would say that it's more of how we interpret it.
Exactly.
As we go along through life.
Yeah.
It's changed before.
A lot.
I believe it'll change again. As we grow and mature. And the point of this podcast is not to preach. It's not to, like I said, we were just talking about Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to take this too seriously. And that's why I want to add things like that, because I don't want this, like, there's great podcasts out there that I believe are just straight, preaching. Here we go. This is more of a conversation.
Yeah.
This is more of like, what do you think?
Talk to your pastor if you want a real solid answer.
Yeah, that's not our job. You know what I'm saying? Our job here is just to create a conversation, have some fun.
Yeah. It
helps us grow, and I believe it'll help you grow. And, like, ideally, we'd love to have you guys on and talk about this, too.
Yeah.
Like it's more of like a...
Talking about things you don't normally talk about.
It's like if we were high and talking about the Bible.
It's not like that
high.
at all,
well,
no.
I don't know. I've never been high. So.
No, I know. It's not like
I would just assume that this is what you do
when
you're high.
No, yeah.
What do you mean you don't get on a podcast and talk about the Bible whenever you're high? What are you talking about?
Anyway, what were you saying?
I don't know. Probably something about the marriage. So
something about marriage.
You asked me about divorce and remarriage. That's a good question. People have talked about this a lot.
It says in the Bible. If it says in the Bible, doesn't that mean that,
I'd say so. I mean, again, if we go back to it, it says, so what she's talking about is... Matthew 19 verse 9. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another commits adultery. So yeah, that's adultery.
It's adultery.
Absolutely. No, I would say I don't.
Adultery.
Okay, like sin. So here's the thing about sin. And
sin is sin.
Sin is sin. We're not encouraging it here.
I'm not telling you to go do cocaine. I'm not encouraging you to sin. I'm just saying all sin is the same.
All sin is the same. That is true. I do believe that. Now, again, I don't know. Christians, this is why we have so many denominations, right? People believe different things on this stuff. My personal experience and take from what the Bible says and what I've been taught is that it is a sin to divorce and for anything other than sexual immorality. And that would also include, I believe, based on the text, that if you divorce because of your wife cheating on you, for example, and then marry somebody else, that wouldn't be adultery because you divorced for a godly reason.
Yeah.
But if you divorce for any other reason, so
like
for example,
just got bored.
Yes.
Or we're not happy anymore.
Right. And you choose not to work through it, and it's something like that. I would say that God is saying that is a sin, that you shouldn't do that. If you do choose to do that, you have to acknowledge that. You have to repent, and then well, that's the thing, though. I guess because it's like, well, then you're still going to do it, though. So would that still be against him, right?
I mean, yeah.
Like, do you have to repent every day?
Oh, snap. Every day of your marriage.
Well, because, like, if you're still married, and you repent, you're like, okay, God, I know this is a sin, but I'm going to keep doing it.
That's pretty tough.
Right.
And we don't know. We'd have to get back to you on that, audience.
We have to get back to you on that. I didn't expect you to ask me that. That's a really good question. Also, let us know what you think about that, because I think that's really interesting. From what I know now, from what the Bible says, I would say my interpretation of what God is saying is that, yes, that's a sin.
Dang.
You can't do it.
Dang.
If you want to be called a Christian.
If you want to be called a Christian.
A practicing Christian, I guess.
I'm getting comfy. Mind your business.
You're good. On that too, I know a lot of podcasts have talked about this, and I didn't write it down either, but it leads me to like divorce. So like, so it says here that sexual immorality is the only, reason to get divorced. Do you think there's others?
Yeah.
And why are they not listed?
I think it's, I have listened to a podcast about this before.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you a specific verse. I had a similar question, and I think in the Bible supports like abuse.
The Bible supports abuse.
No, sorry. The Bible supports divorcing because of abuse.
I was about to say, whoa, that's the title of the episode right there, if you believe that.
I do believe that, especially when there's verses like men, be kind to your women. or something like that.
Again, you're so confusing. You believe that the Bible is for divorce, for abuse.
I feel like the second time I wasn't confusing at all. I think you confused yourself.
You heard that, audience.
But yeah.
That. I think that was confusing. But I got you. I got you now. Okay. You think it's okay to it's okay to divorce because of abuse, because it says,
yeah,
I would agree with you. That's why I bring it up, is because I don't agree with other podcasters that are saying the opposite. I've heard it.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
It's pretty clear that, the Bible, and I'll go into this too, where it's like, we'll get into this later, but it's more of like you shouldn't cheat. Also, men, like, you should also respect, your wife. You should treat her like.
Can you believe?
It's crazy, right? It's a crazy concept, but you should.
You should.
And I believe, if it's an abusive thing, you definitely should get out of it. I don't see why 100%. That would be. I don't understand how the God I serve would think that was wrong. I think it gets twisted, and I really it makes me angry because of how that can be used as manipulation to keep people in bad marriages and bad relationships, and how it can be used, and I oh, good Lord.
I know.
It's like the amount of manipulation that happens, I believe, the amount of times the Bible gets twisted to, fulfill men's desires, and man is in like humanity, like man's desires is crazy. Yeah. It's been happening for years, centuries, before we were born, before we were even a thought, and it's not going to stop. That's just the reality. No.
Yeah.
And that's why it's really important to have discernment. It's really important to talk, with people you trust. It's really important to have somebody on this walk with you that you trust, that really looks out for your best interest, that isn't trying to gain something from you. And I believe, that goes to your pastors as well. There's pastors out there that don't have your best interest at heart. There's pastors out there that do. Yeah. Look for the right ones. Look for the ones that have your best interest. Look for the ones who really believe in God, who you see God in. Yeah. And in that you'll get the right answers. You'll get what God is trying to tell you, and talk to him. My Xbox just turned on for no reason. That's weird. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. That kind of creeps me out.
Kind of freaked me out. I'm not gonna lie.
What do we do? Should we leave the house?
Are we saying something bad? Now I'm scared.
Oh my gosh, that scared me.
We're gonna ignore it. Okay, anyway, that's what I think about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so this leads me to the next point here. Ignore it, babe. It's okay. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be okay, I think. I hope. Keep an eye out over that. Keep an eye on that.
Okay, I will.
Okay. If you see anything, we're running.
No, but I don't.
I thought you saw something.
No. We haven't seen anything.
No.
We've been here all day.
No, I think it's fine. My Xbox is it's old.
Yeah, right?
That's weird. I heard that. That was weird. This place is haunted.
Don't say that.
We're moving. Oh, yeah. We should talk about ghosts one day.
Don't say it. Not right now, please. I'm freaked out.
I'm actually scared.
I'm so scared.
I hit my tooth on the mic.
Call your dad.
Scared.
Call your dad.
No, I can't. We're using the phone to record.
Call your dad with my phone.
No.
Just,
okay.
I want to hear him say it's going to be okay.
Why? My dad?
I don't have one.
Oh, God, this is horrible.
You're going to have a lot of editing to do in this episode.
No, actually, I think that's a clip. That's a clip if you ask me. I think that's so funny. We're not going to call my father. We're not going to bother him at this time.
I'm scared. I'm scared, though.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Go check.
No. Gosh, no way.
What would be the last straw for you right now? Like if we heard another Xbox noise?
Yeah. I just see an alien.
Okay, I'm ready.
Well, what's that? You hear that?
Wee.
Yep.
Wee.
Oh, yeah. That hi-hat you're hearing, not Anna singing. The hi-hat you're hearing is telling us that it's time to talk about some news. So to start off, we've got to talk about something that Everybody is talking about.
Oh, freaking yeah!
You can't go, on social media without seeing it. You definitely can't watch football anymore the same. That gave it away. You know what I'm talking about. It's that lately Travis Kelce.
Let's go.
Has become the ultimate Swiftie. He's got everybody beat because he is officially dating Taylor Swift.
Woo.
And football is never going to be the same.
Football is never going to be the same. It's actually better.
What do you think of it?
Love.
Yeah.
Love. I think it's perfect. Now, I do think people are being too creepy. They're like, oh, they're going to get married already? It's been like, 1 or 2 months time?
I kind of hope so.
But I do want them to get married, yeah.
It makes me happy. It's like...
I love it. I've been more into football lately.
No kidding. You have. Before that, you had zero interest in
Zero interest at all. Just seeing her on the screen makes me excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. You and like a million other Americans with that cult you have going on.
I'm going to buy a jersey.
With who? What's his number?
No idea.
No idea?
No idea.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
What position does Travis Kelce play in football?
Back end.
I'm going to give that to you. It's tight end.
I was so close.
You got 50% right.
I was
I'm kind of impressed.
Thank you. I've been hearing something end being thrown around there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you heard the end, but you didn't care. You don't care enough to catch the first part of that.
To catch the full thing. I'm there for Taylor. I'm here for Taylor. And when Taylor's out, I'm out.
That's fair.
I'm out.
That's gonna be hilarious. I didn't even think about that. So like if they, hoping they don't, because I actually like this.
I loved it. I love it too.
But if they break up, there goes like a bunch of the viewership for football.
It's increased like 500%.
We actually have some stats on that.
Great.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Let's read them.
Let's go over some of these stats since Travis Kelce has come out as dating Taylor Swift. First off, a little awesome thing is Patrick Mahomes has come out and said that, and I quote, she's really cool.
She is really cool.
So that's great. You got Mahomes on your side.
She's Taylor Swift.
That's what you want to hear from your quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, other than Mahomes, some other people have come out and said that they approve of this situation. Like, for example, Bill Belichick. I know you have no clue who that is.
I have no idea.
But if you know football, you know exactly who that is. Let's go ahead and take a look at this clip right now.
He's that guy.
He's that guy. And he said this about Taylor Swift. We're going to play that. We're not going to
Taylor, she's the best.
Keep going. Go ahead.
This is the best. What is it? Catch? Or what does he say? Catch? Throw? Not throw. This is the best catch he's ever made. Something like that, right? He says something like that.
It's pretty close.
Don't fumble it.
That's pretty close. I mean, you definitely use football terms there. I don't remember the clip exactly.
Yeah.
That was Anna's interpretation of the clip.
Thank you.
She did great. A round of applause. Thank you very much. But now let's watch the actual clip.
Where do you fall on that? Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, power couple in the NFL.
Well, I would say that Travis Kelce's had a lot of big catches in his career. This would be the biggest.
So, let's get to some stats here. Like I said, we have stats. For example, here, I wrote that the Taylor Swift effect is in full swing for Kansas City, as Travis Kelce was one of the 5 top-selling NFL players and saw nearly a 400% spike in sales as far as his merchandise and stuff through the Fanatics network of sites, including NFLshop.com.
You bet, and I'm in line.
You are in line. You don't even know what number. You're going to go up there. You're going to ask for Taylor Swift's boyfriend's shirt, please.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that.
A 400% spike. I already said that. In addition to her appearance at the game on Sunday, StubHub has seen a nearly 3 times increase in sales in 24 hours for the Chiefs' home games, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is so good. And I know those girlies don't even know what's going on.
No.
I know those girlies are like, what is going on?
Right.
They have no idea.
Do you think they knew? Do you think they knew the effect that this would have on the world?
No, because here's the thing. I know it sounded like I stuttered, but I did it.
You did, but it's okay.
Anyway, here's the thing. Here's the dealio. They underestimate the Taylor Swift effect.
Yeah.
They always underestimate it.
Who's they?
The men.
The men. Okay, the men.
I would say the men
Underestimate Taylor Swift.
Yeah, they're like, oh, she's just Taylor Swift. Nobody cares about Taylor Swift. Everybody cares about Taylor Swift. I want to say like 90% of the girl population.
I will say I didn't care about Taylor Swift until I started dating and then marrying you.
Mm-hmm. She's a big deal.
Now I know a lot about Taylor Swift,
and she's a big deal.
I respect her a lot.
She's a big deal.
We can go. We've debated.
Oh, we've
Her
debated
music, what I think about it as a musician.
Mm-hmm. But she's a big deal.
I don't always love it, but I can't say that she's not a big deal.
You can't underestimate her.
Yeah,
She's
agree.
a great force.
You cannot underestimate the impact she's made on the music industry.
Yeah.
And now she's going into the football industry and is gonna leave
with
a mark.
A tight end.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So there you go. That is the Taylor Swift update. The Taylor Swift effect. In conclusion, I'd say that dating Taylor Swift is a good business decision.
So true.
Next up, before we get into the topic, we have one more thing to talk about, and it's my favorite thing to see. The writer's strike. Everybody knows about that. It happened like 5 months ago, where all the writers essentially that were, professional. They were professional writers.
Yeah.
Writing your favorite shows, writing your Netflix shows, writing all that stuff.
Any dialogue on TV.
Any dialogue
really.
pretty much on TV. They went on strike. They had enough. They didn't love their pay. They hated everything.
The threat of AI.
The threat of AI was imminent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's finally come to an end. And they got like everything they wanted, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Everything they wanted.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. What do you have to say about that?
I think it's great. They got residuals for streaming.
Yeah.
So that's great. It's really funny because 5 months ago people were saying, we can never do that. We can't afford to do that. And by people, I mean like the big network companies, right?
Right.
But now after 5 months, they're totally willing to do everything and they've agreed to do everything. So
yeah,
they really should have just said yes from the beginning and saved everybody some time.
Should have. But I mean, what are you going to do? Sometimes you got to take a stand, dude.
Yeah, they thought they were going to break.
They thought so. But, and that's a really testament because, like, that's hard to do. It's hard to get all these people on. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to get a group of people on board, especially when you're talking about, like, you're saying no to money.
A lot of money.
You got livelihoods. You got families. You know what I mean? Like, these aren't, like, these are just writers. Then the actors join, and it's like.
Yeah.
I think that was big.
That was
big. You know what I mean?
That was definitely a nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
And I will say, it's like, for people who did break the picket fence, their career's over.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that it's started back up again, their career's completely 100% over.
It's not fun to be blackballed from.
It's not fun. It's not fun to be blackballed from the writing industry.
Yeah. Give me a second. I'm trying to open this.
Oh, guys, Michael's trying to open his water. He struggled. It's a big cap. So
I got it.
It's like a 10-pound cap.
I did it.
So yeah, good for them. Congratulations.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I as a creative person, as a musician, I love it. I love to see it. I love to see the work they've done, and I think the craziest part, and I wrote it here because we have some facts here. Like you said, the AI thing. The AI thing is insane. Like, so basically, what's happening with that is that AI, and this is like what was stated, will not be considered literary material or source material. And, you cannot force writers to use AI. I think that's big.
It's great.
Because I think, like, that's one of the biggest fears I would have. You know what I mean? Like, oh, is this thing just going to take over my job?
With
like
ChatGPT and all that stuff.
and, like, all the other stuff that we don't even know about. You know what I mean? So it's like... And then, I don't know if you saw Black Mirror. I don't know if anybody's seen Black Mirror lately.
Yeah.
But, that episode, the first episode that dropped was crazy.
It was good.
And it was kind of like, I kind of foresaw this, and I was like, oh, this is about to be reality.
Black Mirror inspired the writer's strike.
There you go. I love it. It's kind of funny because there's writers that wrote that episode. You think they were writing it, and they were like, wait a second.
Crap.
They were like, wait a second.
Yeah, I think so. That's hilarious.
Right? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Maybe AI wrote it.
Crazy. And also, last thing on this is that The coolest thing I think is that writers are like guaranteed. So basically, I don't know how it was before, but now, writers are guaranteed and staff are guaranteed at least 10 weeks of employment in an initial development.
Oh, wow.
And then staff on shows that go on air will be employed for 3 weeks per episode.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
That's good.
Which is cool.
That's really good.
That's job security.
They kind of ate that up.
That's great.
Yeah, that's amazing. Good
Yeah.
for them.
I'm a huge fan of job security
Yeah.
in this industry. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying specifically, right?
I'm kind of our job security.
Oh, yeah. You are the anchor to this marriage, dude. Like, literally, my thing is so volatile.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it on the last podcast. I'm a professional musician.
Mm-hmm. And not saying he doesn't make money, because he does. It just it's in an influx depending on the month.
You don't get a check. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get a set check. You gotta look.
No.
You gotta work for pretty much every dollar.
Yeah.
And some months are better than others.
So my check is kind of our set check.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Okay.
You scrolled too
I
fast.
went way too far. That was the news.
Great news.
Thank you. And this is a new thing we're trying. I'm definitely I'm love being transparent with the audience. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying it. Let us know what you think of that little segment we just did. Talking about things that are not necessarily pertain to the Bible, but are more things that we're interested in.
Yeah.
As people, and I think what other people are interested in as well.
Taylor Swift
And AI.
and Taylor Swift.
And Taylor Swift mainly. So what is a eunuch? Do you know?
Yeah.
What is it?
Someone without a penis.
Very good. High five. So basically, it's a man who's been castrated.
That's the scientific term, right? Penis.
Yeah. That's scientific. Yeah. So basically, I think it's interesting because we're talking about marriage, and we're talking about, in the beginning we said, should you get married? Is it a sin if you don't? It's not. Now here's the thing. I believe there is a purpose to not. I don't believe it's as easy as, it's just not for me. You know what I mean? I believe there's two roads. If you're a Christian, we preface this with if you're a Christian. If you're not, I don't care what you do. But if you're a Christian, this is how I interpret it.
Some coffee if you're not a Christian.
Yeah, there you go.
Go get some coffee.
If you're a Christian, it's you get married and you have those blessings and you reproduce children possibly, and then you go into that, right?
Yeah.
The alternative is you stay single, but there's a purpose for that, and these are things called eunuchs in the Bible. Now, it's not saying
cut your penis off.
you were about to say another word.
Say another way.
We're going to be scientific here. Scientifically, do not do anything to your body.
No,
please. Do not do that. We're not condoning that. Because that's not what it's saying. Because that was but it's basically saying essentially cut, figuratively cut off that way of thinking and then devote what you would give to a wife to God. That's what it's saying, and that's what I believe it to be saying.
That's nice.
Right, and it's
beautiful.
So the purpose of the eunuchs in the Bible, because there's also this is also a thing, and it also wasn't pleasant. Like you said, man sometimes made you into one.
Yeah.
So we're not saying this is like a fairy tale, lovely, great thing. Yeah. We're simply talking about what it means today. Back then, I'm sure that was horrifying.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Today, what it means is that, and the purpose of it is to have a closer relationship with God, one without any distractions, because there's nothing more distracting than a woman. Let me tell you. Comedy. But
okay.
That's I'm just kidding, but it's
or a man
essentially not,
because
or a man.
As a woman, you're also very tied into your marriage.
I do think that as well. Yeah. Do you think it also applies to women? Because that's another thing nobody really talks about.
Yeah.
I think so too. I feel like that's pretty obvious, but I can see an argument to where maybe it's
like
not.
Women shut up, get married.
Yeah, but I don't believe that's what it's saying.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, so the purpose is, so I believe there's two paths. We chose to get married.
We did.
How do you feel about that?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been amazing for me.
It works for us, and again, single people are not incomplete.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like even though we chose to get married, as single people, we were not incomplete.
No, of course not. We still like, you know, we had lives and things
we
and
had
dreams and
lives.
goals and all that stuff, and it was great.
Yeah.
But you know, I chose for me and you chose for you that the married life was for us. This is how we want to
100%.
honor God. This is how we want to honor ourselves. The alternative is to, you know, devote yourself to God, be single, do your thing. Doesn't mean be promiscuous. Doesn't mean, because at the end of the day, lust is a sin, no matter what, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. Like, you know, when you can't just be single and then just do whatever you want. You know, single with a purpose to serve God.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Amen.
That's tough, though.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because
I think it would be harder.
It is harder, I think, because then it's like you can't have sex.
No, yeah, right? No, it's like you have no gratification.
No gratification
there.
in that way.
I couldn't do it, man. I'm telling you, it would be hard.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing that, props to you.
Props to you for real.
Marriage is hard, but I'd argue that's harder.
I think so too.
Yeah. Because you're also you're also gonna get like a close relationship to God. In the Bible, it says that. You know what I mean?
Both paths are great paths.
Yeah, but I like this one.
Yeah. Well, that's why we chose this one.
Yeah. So how do you feel? Do you think anything changed when we got married? Let's talk about us for a second.
Yeah, totally. I think a lot of things change when you get married.
What do you think changes whenever you choose to do this? For those who aren't married and you know, for all that stuff.
When you're dating, like that person's in your mind, and you know, you have to sacrifice some things for dates, and you spend some money with each other. You know what I mean? When you're married, every decision you make has to go through the other person.
Oh, it's horrible.
And it can be so aggravating. We're barely getting used to it, and we've been married for a year now officially.
Yeah.
It is so much work to constantly be like, babe, is this okay? Babe, can we do this? Babe, can we do that? Babe, is it okay if we do that? You know, it's just, that has been the biggest change for me, where I've always been so independent, even dating. And now it's like, well, I have to run things by my husband first.
You're telling me, dude. I think I was the worst when it came to this adjustment, especially when we were dating.
Yeah.
I rarely ran things by you.
It was annoying. Yeah.
And it became a problem. But in my head, I was like, why do I have to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in my defense, we
were dating.
I was more of, well, we're dating. We're not married.
We're not married.
So I shouldn't have to run this by you.
No, of course. That's what I'm saying. Like, dating is very different than marriage. That's what changes it.
That's true. Now that is a problem if I don't do that. So now, it's harder because you have to run things by your spouse.
Everything.
And it's, you know, specifically for us with my career, it can become an issue because I can't always, as a musician, I cannot always give you all the details that I'd like to, because I don't even know them, you know?
Yeah.
And things change. You know, we've had instances where it's like, oh, hey, actually, we picked up a gig. We're going to be leaving a little earlier for this road trip.
Exactly.
That's hard.
Yeah, it is.
It's not, I don't particularly love it either, but that's just the name of the game.
Marriage is hard.
And we're getting used to that. And then it becomes like a thing where it's like, well, it's a bummer because I'm gonna see you one less day this week, and then, you know, stuff like that. But you just work through it. You talk about it.
You work through it. You talk about it, and it's great. So in terms of that, definitely things have changed.
Yeah.
In my day-to-day life, in general, also, our relationship itself has changed. I feel like some people say, that when they got married, it was the same and they love each other the same, whatever. I think that's not true at all for us.
Right.
I think we got married and there was like a deeper level of connection.
Yeah.
That was unlocked, and it's definitely more powerful than just dating, I would say.
Absolutely. I'd say so too. It's, for me, there's more at stake. I'm fully invested. You were my partner.
Yeah.
There is no backing out in this. I know. Depressing. Well, we've talked about it. We've said, you know, what's never going to stop us from getting divorced is all the paperwork.
So true.
We've said that continuously, you know,
and
because
it's true. My God.
We're both really bad at paperwork.
Oh,
we're both
geez.
really bad I know. That's why I say, "Oh my gosh," or whatever I
say,
said earlier.
I said complete sidetrack. I say, "Oh my goodness" to daycare because we're not supposed to believe in anything, and I don't want to cross any boundaries with "Oh my God."
Yeah.
So I say, "Oh my goodness," and now all the kids are saying, "Oh my goodness, oh my goodness."
That's why you're not supposed to do the
Oh
God
my
thing,
goodness!
right?
I know they would be saying, "Oh my God," so I kind of
You
say,
got a lawsuit in your hand.
"Oh my goodness." Anyway, continue.
That's so cool, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, kids are very mimicky.
Kids are so mimicky.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah.
I haven't grown out of that. So yeah. So, for me, it's more. There's more at stake. This is what we do, and we're not just gonna give up because that would be a headache.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would also say for me, one thing that's been crazy shift is the way that people talk to you.
So true.
It's weird.
So true. We automatically get like way more respect.
Yeah, dude, honestly.
Way more respect.
Anytime I say, "Oh yeah, my wife," there goes my stock.
Breath hitches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same at work. I'm like, "Oh yeah, my husband's gonna." You're married? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
They bow
Oh my
down.
God. Oh my goodness.
It's crazy, right?
Mhm.
It's weird. It's I'm not used to it.
Especially I think because we're so young.
Yeah. It makes me feel old.
Yeah, I know. All of our friends are not married.
Not true. I have a couple of friends that are married, but
Engaged.
for the most part, who's engaged?
James.
Oh yeah, I love James. Yeah, he's engaged. Yeah, but he's also older than us. He's like, I think he's like 28 or something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah. So like, it's weird because we're in that phase of life where people are at different stages.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely makes.
Yeah.
And it society just treats us differently.
We feel more trustworthy as a package.
Yeah, I bet we can go back to a certain church too now. I will say
we got kicked out of a church. Have we ever talked about that on here? I don't even remember.
We've never mentioned that on here.
We got kicked out of a freaking church.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was so crazy.
But
now they'd let us back in because we're married.
That's what I'm saying. That is for another episode.
Yeah, that's a
Stay
good one.
tuned to this podcast to hear that story.
Yeah.
But let's just say we could go back now.
We could.
Don't want to.
We'd never go back in a million years.
But that's like another episode. That was crazy. Yeah.
Do you want to continue?
What do you
I
have
see in your bullet points that you have one more.
No, I'm good. But what do
You
you
don't want to talk about the last one?
about sex?
Yeah.
Well, I just put that we could talk about sex openly.
Exactly. And you don't want to do that one?
Well, I feel like we've been
Please
running a
don't.
while. I want to keep it going, but I do want
That's so true. This is a long little clip.
Yeah. But this is the main point of the episode, so
Yeah.
I'm not too mad about it. But yeah, we can talk about that.
We can talk about sex more now.
Yeah, no, for real.
We can talk about sex more now.
Yes, because you can't whenever you're young and you're
a Christian.
Don't condone this either, by the way.
Don't do it.
But we were.
Don't say anything like that.
You weren't allowed to talk about it.
We weren't allowed to talk about it.
So therefore, we didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. It was very much like, you guys can't do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then now it's people are too eager to hear about it.
Now people, as soon as we got married, it's almost like everybody was like, you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
You're doing it?
Dude, it's
how
so
is it?
funny.
How's it doing it? When's
Yeah.
the baby coming? As soon as we got married.
Yeah, as soon as we got married, people were like...
Make sure you do it like every day because you're married now. So do it all the time.
Huge shift because my whole life I've been told don't do it. Now
I
they're
know.
saying,
You go
what are
from
doing?
don't do it to do it.
Immediately.
Keep doing it.
Right now.
Oh my gosh, I want to see you do it.
Yeah.
Basically.
I don't know who's told you that, but yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's so
It's
weird.
kind of funny.
It is hilarious. It's
Yeah.
so weird. We had we live in his parents' house. And they're so sweet. They're the sweetest people in the world. But it was so funny because we were newlyweds.
And they're going to see this too.
Yeah, we were newlyweds. And his sister would be like, oh, we just wanted to make sure that we weren't interrupting.
Yeah.
Or his mom would be like, oh, we're just tiptoeing in.
Yeah.
And we're like fully clothed, like sitting on the couch.
They
just
think
like,
we're just going to go feral all of a
It's
sudden.
so funny.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like closing their eyes like, We just want to make sure everybody's dressed, and we're just sitting like this.
Yeah, literally,
yeah,
we're just like
fine.
this, and we're watching TV.
Yeah.
We're like, you can come in.
So it's just crazy. Now everybody knows we're having sex.
It's pretty fun.
It's it's pretty fun. Yeah.
So there you go. That's what I think about that. Now this segment has been going on for a very long time. It's time to transition. We're halfway done with the episode. We might speed it up.
You have a lot of editing to do.
I sure do.
Just
Maybe
edit
some of the
it, yeah.
the pieces out. But
There's some dead space in there you can cut out.
yeah, definitely. I have some work to do. But we wouldn't cut anything important, nor we'll probably cut this.
Yeah, we'll probably cut this out. Anyway, keep going.
Anyway, what you hear now, I forgot what sound it makes. Whatever is playing right now indicates that it's time to switch gears. And it is time for my foot fell asleep.
Are you okay?
My foot fell asleep. Ah! Oh my God.
Comedy.
You can't do that. But what you can do, as I struggle through this, is that you can give us Anna's fun facts of the day. It's happening right now.
What?
Take it away. What do you got for me?
I have a couple, actually.
You have a couple of fun
I
facts.
have 3 fun.
That's great. This episode is not nearly long enough, so go ahead and do 3
I
fun facts.
I have 3 fun marriage facts.
Okay, what you got?
Okay.
Oh, they're on brand. I love it.
Yeah, I know. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Number 1. The average married couple has sex 68.5 times a year.
68.5
Such
times
an
a
interesting.
year.
The 0.5 is so interesting.
What does that
isn't it?
even mean?
Exactly. They just stop. It's not complete.
They just stop? Where'd you
Yeah.
hear that from? I don't believe you.
68.5. Search
Times
it
a
out.
year? You said a year?
A year.
A year.
That averages out to about once a week.
It's not a lot, really.
Like 1.5
well,
a
that's
week.
more than once a week because there's 54 weeks in a year.
Yeah.
I guess so. That's the number. Would be
You know,
more
if
like
you're
the
having a
hundreds and
special
200s.
week, 2 a week.
Sure.
On a special
Interesting. Does it say like did it specify like which like if they're young, older?
No, they
just,
didn't.
Just in general.
It's the average married, like
For when
us
you're
as a
married.
unit.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
everybody older to younger, you know, that's the variation. At least we're all having sex at least one time in
Beautiful.
a week,
Beautiful.
you know?
Good to know. 0.5. 0.5 is
Yeah.
weird.
They
Okay.
stop. Anyway, couples who spend 5 hours a week together compared to the average couple are more likely to stay together.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you think we spend 5 hours a
So
week
5
together?
hours more than the average couple are more likely to stay together in the long
5
run.
hours more than the average. So how much does the average couple?
I don't know.
So we're just
know.
going to shoot for 5 more than we
Just
don't
5 more than normal.
know. Okay.
No.
So we're going to say normal is...
About 40 hours a week, a work day, work week,
Do you think 40 hours a week?
work week, 9 to 5, marriage. You know what I'm saying?
I guess. Why are you counting when you sleep too?
No.
Okay, so sleep doesn't count. There's
Yeah.
definitely not 40 hours a week.
And lastly,
Mm-hmm.
we kiss at weddings because in ancient Rome, the kiss is a legal bond that seals the contract.
Really?
Yeah.
So I was right to think that when I was younger.
Yeah, it seals the contract.
Wow. That's sweet.
It is sweet.
Rome is
That's
cool.
it.
Rome was great. Thank you for those fun facts.
You're
That was
welcome.
great.
You're welcome.
That was wonderful. How many times do you think about Rome?
How many times do you think about Rome?
Never.
I think about it like once every 2 months, I would say, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it a lot more
Whenever
lately.
I order a Caesar salad, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
I order a lot of
Remember
Caesar
the
salad.
Caesar salad we ordered yesterday?
Stop. We can't go into the side note. This is exactly one of those stories we're going to cut. We need to keep it moving.
Oh,
Go to
we're
the
not
next
cutting
one.
these stories, baby.
Let's go to the next one.
These are great. Okay, so thank you for that fun fact.
You're welcome.
That was great. Rapid fire. I love it. Okay, we're going to move on here. Oh, it stopped recording. Okay, so we went away.
Yeah, we did. We actually talked so much that we can't talk anymore.
Dude, that is crazy. I don't think we've ever done that.
No.
So our camera stopped recording. It's done for the night. It's exhausted.
Yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do. This has been a long episode. It's been a great episode.
It's been a great episode.
But I think we're gonna cap it here and then make a part 2.
I agree.
So next week, what we're gonna do is what have we learned today? We learned that we can go on one topic for a very long time.
Yeah, we don't need side
I had
topics.
about 3 or 4 ready to go. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna X those out. No, instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a part 2. Like I said, we're gonna go into that. I'm gonna edit this thing, make it nice and pretty. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna just pretend like we had the fun fact in the middle. We actually had it at the end, but you don't know that, because you're going to see it differently.
Yes.
So, with that being said, that is what we have to say about marriage. It's all about communication, sex, or being a eunuch. That is my conclusion.
Amen.
Thank you very much for listening. For Do Our Podcast.
Fadoodle.
We will see you next week as we continue this series, part 2, where we're going to be talking about things like, can the woman ever be the head of the house in marriage? And what about non-traditional marriages? Is God okay with you being gay?
Is God okay?
Is God okay? I think he's doing great. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Anna, for sitting here for nearly an hour with me.
You're welcome.
We can go back to our cave, and we will see you guys next week on Worship Warrior.